Hi, this is Mike from thesubstream.com, and this is an episode of Watch This Instead for the weekend, the 5th of June. Hooray for June 2009. And I'd like to talk, if I could, if you'd give me some few minutes here, about a movie called Land of the Lost. It's a remake of the Sid and Marty Krofft cult classic Saturday morning show from the early 70s. It stars Will Ferrell and Danny McBride. Will Ferrell is a scientist who gets tachyons, and it stinks. It's just not funny. I'm personally a huge Will Ferrell fan, and I've liked him in almost everything I've ever seen him in. But I don't know if we've passed peak Ferrell or something, or if just the script for Land of the Lost was particularly weak. But there's not enough jokes in the film, and what jokes there are in the film, I've literally seen Will Ferrell make those specific jokes 5 or 6 times by now. All of the funny lines, as is too often true with bad summer movies, are in the trailer. The film is produced by Sid and Marty Krofft as well, which is surprising because I didn't think that they were still working or breathing. But they made kids shows, and this is ostensibly a kids movie, except there's 3 or 4 jokes that are completely crude and not for children, and sometimes they're the funniest thing in the movie. The funniest individual moment in the movie is where Will Ferrell's character meets Shaka, the friendly little primate, and he goes over to Shaka and he says, "Shaka, come here," and he looks in Shaka's face and says, "Fuck you," and it's the funniest part in the movie, and it's also, I don't know if it's Will Ferrell just insisting on that joke being in there, getting just one funny line, one thing that goes completely against the way too tame, way too mild, way too candy-colored, gross goo, funny-looking alien world of Sid and Marty Krofft movie making. I'm not sure, but it's pretty much the only one line in the film that made me laugh. The film's a massive waste of talent. Will Ferrell certainly is probably the most successful, funny guy of the past 10 years, and Danny McBride is an incredibly funny dude in his own right. So what should you watch instead of Land of the Lost, which you shouldn't watch because it stinks and is not funny? Watch an HBO sitcom called Eastbound and Down. The first season has 6 episodes, and you can cram them all into one evening, and it stars Danny McBride, and it was made by him and a guy named Jody Hill, who together made a movie a while ago called The Foot Fist Way, which was pretty good. But that film caught the interest of Will Ferrell, and Will Ferrell's production company, Gary Sanchez, produced Eastbound and Down. But anyways, watch Eastbound and Down. It stars Danny McBride doing what he does best, what he's basically doing a really watered-down, mild version of in Land of the Lost, is somebody who's incredibly self-centered, incredibly profane, and incredibly over-the-top funny, but still somehow touching and sincere and weirdly, oddly charismatic. That's his unique strength, and it's something that Will Ferrell kind of has a little bit in, although his part in Eastbound and Down is probably the worst thing in the whole 6-episode arc. There's apparently a second season coming, but go watch all 6 episodes of the first season. It's incredibly offensive, incredibly crude, but spectacularly funny, and actually touching with some depth to the character, unlike the completely plastic, completely fake, completely unfunny, and unheartfelt, and unconvincing Land of the Lost. So watch Eastbound and Down instead, and I'll see you next week.